Hello.
Hi, is this Benji?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Benji, how's it going? This is John with Long Beach Vagrant.
How's it going, man?
All right. Tom sent me, sent me the number, told me to give you a call around this time for an interview or something like that.
That's right. My name's Benji Womack, and doing an interview with Long Beach Vagrant. What was your name again?
John.
Just John. Okay, drummer. Yeah. And this is for pickhives.com. First off, man, I want to say, man, the new song Within, dude, totally digging it, man. Totally.
Oh, cool.
He sends me tons of press releases and stuff, man, and I picked the ones I want to do, man. And as soon as I heard that song, I was like, yeah, I want to interview these guys for sure.
Nice. We got more of the same coming right now too. We got a new CD that's about to be. We just finished recording. We're about to release it here in the next couple months.
Awesome. Yeah, that was part of this question. Now, how much time and effort did y'all put into recording this? What was some of the trials and tribulations of doing this?
You know what? Actually, it took a little bit longer than anticipated because pretty much right in the midst of writing, two of the members stepped out, and we welcomed two new ones. But it was in the end, it ended up being a good process because the two members kind of fit in a little bit better, and they had the same direction and style that we were looking for. So it was a good thing after all, but it did take a little bit longer than we anticipated.
All right, so you know what, you just kind of touched on a question I was going to ask you later on, so I'll go ahead and bring that up now. I was reading that Mike Payne's the only original member in the band. I was going to ask you, with all the new members that are in the band now, this is y'all's first album together, or did you join the band with the rest of the guys did?
Yeah,
the band a little longer. Or
yeah, I joined the band. I joined the band a while ago. I had with the original members. I had originally joined with the original members, but there was a distance thing. I lived up in the high desert in California. They lived down in Orange County, so it was a good hour and a half drive for me. And we did a couple shows. And then I had to step out because it was just too much for us, for me to be going back and forth. But then when they actually kind of lost some more members, they brought me back on board. It was a slower moving project. We recorded our last album. It was called Before the Blood. And we actually brought in a bass player from Hyrax to do the bass playing, and all the original members were still there. We finished the record, and then in the midst of writing the new one, the original founding member and lead singer stepped out, and one of our replacement bass players stepped out, and that's when we got this new lineup. But it turned out better, a better change for all of us because we're all have the same motivation. We're all locked in and enjoying this, so it looks like we're on track now.
So was it ever an option to change the name of the band since it's a whole new band now, or?
You know what? We thought about it. The band actually was just called Vagrant in the beginning from when they originated in Orange County, actually Long Beach.
Okay.
But there was another band. I guess there was another band or record company called Vagrant Records, but they also were a band. So they had already copyrighted the name or something like that, and they actually, threatened to sue us for the name. So,
oh, wow.
We changed our name to Long Beach Vagrant. We just had the Long Beach, so we ended up just keeping it like that. And we had such the band had such a following. Mike has always been, primarily the main writer of the band, so we just said, let's just keep it. Let's just keep it and keep on pushing forward. The style has changed, but it's still a good ass-kicking metal. So we decided to keep it.
So it's not. So I also read, it used to be more of a horror thing. He was really into horror movies and stuff like that. The lyrics and stuff. It doesn't have that kind of theme no more, or y'all just totally?
No, it does. It does. Actually, that's how. Yeah, I was saying when the new members came on. Well, the first thing that our main guitarist, he's a mosaic tile artist, a really good mosaic tile artist. And he does it all about horror. A lot of his main art is done with by horror. And so we kind of kept it all together because we got to play conventions and stuff like that. So we kept the theme all the same. And when the new members came in, they had the same interests. You know, they loved the horror movies, the zombie apocalypse stuff, all that.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And they were down with it, and they were, totally excited about it. Writing for them came easier, to have a topic already. So we just kept with it, and it's been working out for us. As a matter of fact, we've met other bands, networked with other bands, and got good gigs. And like I said, being able to play big conventions and stuff like that, along the same lines. It's kind of a double thing. We attend the conventions for Mike's art, but then we also are in there playing for with our music and the same theme and storyline.
Okay, awesome, man. Because that was another one of the reasons I had picked this interview, because that's kind of like a new segment that I've introduced into my website, man. Is it's the horror section covering horror books and horror movies and stuff like that. Okay, so back to this video, man. I was watching the video, and is there the hallway, the long, dark, creepy hallway, man? Was there a meaning to that?
No, it was. We wanted to get something. We were talking about getting this. Oh, you know what? The video came about because of the new lineup and the new style of music that we put out. Within and Walking the Dead is our first two singles that were recorded off of that album. Mm-hmm. We got those prepped and ready, so we had something to promote, reflecting the new style of the band.
Okay.
And so we wanted to get that out there as soon as possible. While we're still recording the rest of the album. And we wanted to get a video. We didn't have time to do a video shoot, so we did the lyric video. The PR companies and everybody always recommended us to do some type of lyric video.
Well, that was actually a pretty cool lyric video, man. I mean, I really, never seen like a really cool one, man.
Yeah, kind of the whole, scary horror, wicked looking scenery. We're gonna actually shoot a real video, a real theatrical video. You'll like this one. It's going to be horror entailed as well. And that one's going to be off of our new song, Resurrection. So that'll be coming out the same time when we release it. Release the CD.
Okay. So what's your favorite? What's the best horror movie and the worst horror movie you've ever seen?
For me?
Yeah.
I can't speak for everybody else because these guys all have their favorites, and they have numerous. But for me, I've always kind of had, my favorite has always been the Halloween horrors. Michael Myers. My birthday was on Halloween, so I've always had some affiliation with it.
Did you like the originals or like Rob Zombie's version?
I like both.
Yeah.
I like both, but the originals is what got me going. The original Halloweens. Worst, you know what? There's so many. There's so many, so I can't even.
I don't know the name of the movie. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it was something like The Killer Tire. You ever see that one where just a tire just rolls around? And
yeah,
that was crazy. Oh man. All right. Do you feel like the metal is making a huge rise right now compared to 7-8 years ago, or do you think it's kind of stayed the same, or what?
You know what? It depends on where you go.
That is true.
I've seen it, rise in places where I didn't think it would be, and then I've seen it, around our area. We live. It's funny because we covered two.
Well, I'm from Cali, man. So yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
So the band, the three other members of the band, me, Rob, and Randy, are from the high desert. We live in Apple Valley, California. Okay. Mike still lives in Long Beach, and he trucks up to us because I got the studio, and we practice all day, and it's just a kickback, relaxing situation. We don't have to rent a studio to play, so we practice out the high desert. It seemed like the scene died, for a little bit here and there, but slowly but surely, I've seen a good amount of metal and different styles of metal making a rise again. But like I said, it's hit and miss. You go to certain places, and it seems like the scene's dead. And I don't know, that's kind of troublesome for us because right when we get everything back together and we're motivated and we hit those spots, it's like But then you go another place, go to another destination, play another place, and it's just crazy. And we get fans hitting us up about our material, and you see a spike in our Facebook likes and good stuff like that. So it's just hit and miss. I think it's hit and miss.
I agree, man. Yeah, I moved out here to Augusta, Georgia, and I left Cali, went to Atlanta, and then I came to Augusta, and I couldn't find nothing about any kind of metal here. And I just ended up going to a show one time. I found a show at this little hole in the wall place, man, and dude, I was like very impressed. I found like five, every band on it was sick, man. I was like, wow, they're just like they're hidden. People in this town doesn't know how to get their music out, man. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of sad, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's hard. It's hard for, you think just because you network on the internet that you're going to get it out there and it's going to make an impact. But it seems to me anyway.
There's no street work anymore, man. Those bands don't get out and hand out flyers anymore.
There's no handshakes anymore. We try to do that, especially heavy metal guys always got this tough attitude. They kind of reflect that tough attitude and stuff. But we like to go out and talk to the people. We like to talk to other bands.
Yeah.
Network with other bands. Piggyback off of other bands. We're not afraid to approach other people, our fans, and talk to them and see what they like, see what they think of our music. So we're a networking type band, you know what I mean? And I just think like on the internet, and then you promote your stuff so much on the internet, it almost kind of lessens it to everybody else because you're constantly on it trying to promote it. And people are just getting tired. We're tired of seeing the same old stuff.
And it's nowhere near as fun as going out and handing out flyers, man.
Exactly. That's why gigging. Gigging and networking with the people is what we like doing the most.
Okay. Let's change the subject here. Okay, how about, what's your thoughts on the legalization of marijuana?
What's that?
What's your thoughts on the legalization of marijuana?
Oh, I'm for it. We have no issues with that. We're for it. We know there is good that comes out of it. I know the pain. For real pain medication for people that need it, cancer patients, for their appetites, for the pain, stuff like that. That's real. That's a real issue. There's people that use it and abuse it. But that's not, the issue. Legalizing it is for the good, for people that don't want to get hooked on, medications and or can't even take it. Some people can't even stomach all those, Norcos and Vicodin and all that stuff for pain. You get addicted to it. You get, it tears up your stomach, your liver, stuff like that. Marijuana doesn't. So I'm for it.
Yeah, another reason I asked that question. I've asked that question pretty much every band because that's part of my website too, man. It's called everything's Kais. It's like that's part of the pot Kais, and it's cool asking that question to bands in other cities and towns because there's a lot of places it's not legal and it's probably be a long time before it is, and people in other countries. But pretty much, man, I don't think I've only had like one or two negative comments towards it.
Oh, really? How about in Georgia? Is it legal now?
No, it's not, man. We've had it up we've been on the panel once. One time it got turned down the first time. We just got the oils. The oils just became legal a couple of months ago, and then they're fixing to go back up on the board again and try to vote for it again. They just legalized hemp in North Carolina. But as far as that, man, there's not too many. I don't think there's too much on the East Coast. I mean, New York will probably be one of the last states. That'll probably be one of the strictest states on marijuana. And Georgia is probably number 2. I mean, there's people serving time, like 6 months in jail for having a roach in their ashtray. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's still everywhere though. You would think it was legal.
It's everywhere. They're not gonna stop it. They're gonna get it one way or another.
But I tell people about California and Washington and stuff, man, and Colorado, being out there, all the things that they have out there and they do now with it, and they just they just don't believe me. It's like, man, there's vending machines out there, man, with weed, pot brownie and shit in it. My baby's mama lives in Washington now, in Seattle, and she said you can just call it and have it delivered like a pizza now, man.
Yeah, you can do that here in California.
Can?
Yeah, if you got your medical card.
Yeah, you don't even have to have one of them. You don't have to have one in Washington.
You could go on Weed Maps. Look on Weed Maps, and you'll see people that that are legal, that have their licenses to sell it like that, and give them a call. They take your number down, and boom, they'll come to your door like a pizza.
Legal trafficking.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, man. All right, so if there was one band, I call this the one-time murder band act. If there was one band you could kill, murder, because they suck that bad, who would it be?
Oh, man. I don't want to go on record being the bad guy like that.
Oh, man.
I don't want to be I mean, there's, what, especially for drumming. I'm a nerd with drumming. I don't care who, if you're a beginner, a pro, there's always something that you can learn from somebody.
True.
So I always have that outlook. You know what I mean? So there's always something you could take from somebody. Regardless if they suck or not, they might be good at something different than you are. So there's always something I could take, and reflect on and make it my own. So I don't ever judge that way. I know what you mean, and I've caught myself several times, how these guys ever get on the radio? I don't want to go on record and be the negative one to kill somebody's band like that.
I hear you, man. Okay, that was different. You're the first one not to answer it.
Yeah.
So, is there any tour plans coming up, or we're waiting for the album to come out? Or?
No, actually, okay. We got the things coming up for us. We got the CDs coming out like February, March, along with the video. And then late spring, possibly early summer, we're going to be doing a 4-state tour. We're in the planning processes of that right now. We're hitting parts of California. We're going up to Portland, Oregon. We're going to Phoenix, Arizona, Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're going to come back up and finish again in San Diego, California.
So keeping the West Coast.
Yep. So it's good. Yeah, it's going to be a West Coast thing. This is going to be our first tour with this lineup, and we're gonna tread slowly. So, but we're gonna hit some key places that we've had a really good success rate. A lot of feedback, a lot of positive feedback from these places, and we're sponsored by Cold Cock Whiskey. Okay. And we have bands in all these places. You know what I mean? So we piggyback and network with other bands sponsored by Cold Cock. So it's a good working relationship.
Oh yeah. Circle pits or helicopter pits?
Oh man, well, I'm a pits guy, but for the metal scene, it's got to be the circle pits.
Oh yeah. That's not bad. I've seen some helicopter pits, man. I think the first time I experienced one was like at what was the name of that tour? Sound of the Underground's tour, I think it was. There was a couple of bands on there. I've seen a few of them starting, and then the other night when I went to this show out here, it was the first show I've been to where it was like all kids, teenagers, man. I was like the oldest person there. And these kids were just like going crazy with these helicopter pits, man. It was cool to watch, man, but like to run through that pit, man, it was kind of brutal, man. It hurt.
Yeah.
There's no respect. There's no respect in them.
That. You know what? I seen that when we seen Killswitch Engage and Lamb of God at the Glass House in Pomona.
Mm.
And that's the first time I seen that. And they also did the Wall too, and it was brutal.
I blew my knee out at an Eye the Breather.
People out there.
Yeah, Eye the Breather did that Wall of Death thing at the Mayhem Festival, and I blew my knee out, man. I was down for like 8 months, man. Tore my meniscus tendon, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They get pretty brutal.
Okay. Let me ask you this. What does music really mean to you? What are you willing to sacrifice for it?
What am I really? What am I willing to sacrifice for it?
Yeah, for music. What does it really mean to you?
It means a lot. It's my release. It's my hobby. It's my release. It's also something I put a significant amount of time in. I've given up weekends. I've given up trips, family trips, stuff like that. To continue my art, to master my art, and take it as far as I can. It's always there. It's never left. I've always kept it, even when I'm down, even when things are slow, even when I need a break. I come back to music, and that's my release. So I'm willing to sacrifice a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm a grown man with responsibilities.
That's right.
And we all are. And we're realistic, but we have sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, I didn't grow up until I was like 35, man. I had to figure out how to do this.
What?
I said I didn't grow up until I was 35, man. I had to figure out how to do music.
Hey, I'm in the same group. I'm in the same group. I hear you.
Man, all right. So let me ask you, if you was interviewing Pit Kives tonight, what's one question you would ask me and I'll answer it?
You know what? I would like to know your background. We appreciate, as a band and individual myself, I appreciate that you guys take an interest in our music, in bands that are trying to get their product out and get that exposure. I want to know what is your background in it? Were you a musician, or is this strictly, is this your business and that's what you do?
Well, let's see. It started out, man. Like I grew up in the Atlanta music scene in the '90s, and I went to probably 2 or 3 shows a week. I mean, I was a straight hardcore groupie, man, for metal, man. I would stand out there until every soul left, man, to get an autograph. You know what I'm saying? From any band that I was there to see. And I had moved to California, and I lived up in the Bay Area. And I went and seen, I think it was Skin Lab, and the Skin Lab was from there. I went and seen them there, and I had seen Skin Lab and Napalm Death out here, and it was like a sold out show.
Yeah.
And I went out there to see them. I went to this place called the Pound. I don't know if you remember the Pound up there in San Francisco, but there was like 50 people there, man. And I was like, what the hell, man? It's like from here, The music scene was nothing compared to what Atlanta had going on at the time, man. And I was dating this chick from Brazil, and I was just digging through her CD collection one time, and there was a band in there, and they were sick, and I don't know why I did it. I just emailed the band. They had email address in there, and just told them how sick they were, and they should come out here to the States and play. And they emailed me back, man. I was like, yeah, we'd love to. Can you hook it up? And I don't know. I got with the local band that was in town. There was a practice spot next to where I work, and I saw them over there practicing all the time, and I just kind of approached them and told them what I wanted to do. And long story short, man, I ended up bringing this band from Brazil out here to the States, did like 30 shows in 33 days, and I came up with Army of Pit Soldiers Presents. That's the name of my production, is Army of Pit Soldiers Presents. And then from there, man, I just I had like 13 clubs that I booked shows at, man. I started doing that. I started playing in a band. I started managing bands. I was making press kits for bands, flyers for them, anything I could do to help the local scene up there in Northern California. I even came down to LA and did shows at the Roxy and the Whiskey Go-Go's. I was bringing all the NorCal bands down there, and then I started working for Your Music magazine. I don't know if you remember that publication.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so yeah, I worked for them for I wrote for them for 5-6 years, and maybe a little longer. I wrote with them until it went dormant, and then I started working, with Selling Anyone Records with Steve Escobar from Skin Lab, actually, and then Sean Glass and Scott McPhail, which Scott McPhail actually owns California's Finest out there. He's the one that puts the weed cigarettes in the box and stuff. And it just went from there, man. I moved out here. Things, I went through some some like legal issues per se, man, out there, and I had to walk. I had a couple of crazy girlfriends. I had to walk away from the music scene for a little while. I came I came out to Georgia, man, and came back to Atlanta, and it was Atlanta. The scene was out here wasn't what I left. It was different, and I got itchy, man. There was a couple of shows that came through, and once I went to them, I was like, man, I was sucked back in, and then I just started doing this again, and then I took another break and moved to Augusta, and then started working at a golf course, man. And the guy that worked with me, man, was in a band, and he wanted me to manage him. He saw the stuff that I was doing before, and I just didn't really. It was a little lighter rock than what I'm used to and stuff. But I mean, I was down to do it to help him out because he asked me, and but I had to reestablish myself in the music scene once again. And believe it or not, I was totally overwhelmed with it. Like I was shockingly, man, wasn't that hard to get back into it, man. I mean, everybody remembered me from all the PR companies and remembered who I was from the people that I worked with before. And Pit Kites took off. It was, I didn't know what it was going to be when I first created it, but it is what it is now, and it's coming. I got 5,000 hits my first month. I mean,
nice.
I'm interviewing almost every day. I mean, I got a pretty good staff put together, but I still need a lot more help on it, and it's growing by the day, man. And yeah, I mean, I just
That's
can't.
Awesome, man.
I can't walk away from music,
awesome.
man.
That's awesome, man. We'll help spread your Pit Kites as much as we can.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate what you're doing, and I'm glad that's awesome that you stayed in the music. It always came back to you. So that's awesome, man. That's a good story.
This is what I'm. So what I'm trying to do for the local scene here is, the only way that I can help them is get them noticed by other people. So mixing and local scene with the national scene on my site, all the PRs come through there, looking to see what I've done with the bands that they've given me to promote or interview or whatever. So there's traffic on there, and there's already been one local band on there that's already got offered a show since I've had it up. So it's
nice.
Just working.
That's good, man. Yeah, you guys doing a good thing, man. I appreciate our band appreciates all of it. I know a lot of people just go through the motions, but I know what it takes. I know what stuff you have to go through and the sacrifice you guys got to do to get this stuff out. And we appreciate it. We appreciate it all. And if any way we can help you, we'll help you get your stuff out as well.
Right on, man. So this would be the last question right here. Is there any advice that you have for up and coming bands that are just starting out and have no idea what to do with their talent or how to get it out?
They don't know how to get it out?
Yeah, dude, I met this band I interviewed the other day. They were so sick, man. They're like 15, 16, 17 years old, man. I was the first person to ask them to do an interview, and they didn't know what they were like in shock, And they just, and it's like the one kid, the bass player, he's got stage fright, so he don't even face the crowd when he's playing. He faces the opposite direction.
Yeah. We've had those people. Yeah.
That was cool, but yeah, they just don't know how to get shows. They don't know what to do. I just they'll listen to his stuff. So
it's gotta. The advice from me is talk to your guys. You guys got to communicate in the band, and everybody has to put their effort into getting it out. Everybody has to put an effort into spreading the word. Not only practice, and be able to reflect your music when you're playing live, but you guys all together as a band have to network and put it out all together. It can't just be one person. You can't just rely on one PR person. You got to go through several and never stop networking yourself. That's my advice, because I've been in bands where just one person makes the effort, and that person gets tired of it, and then it falls flat.
Yes,
the other people don't pick up on it. So it's a group effort that needs to be worked out, and then from there, as a group, try to find your resources. Like PR companies like yourself. just and word of mouth and going out when you're gigging, network with other bands, network with the fans, network with the venues as much as you can. That's my advice.
Right on, man. I appreciate this interview, man. One more. There's when we were talking about handing out flyers and stuff earlier, man. There's a lot of things about the old industry. I mean, I call it old now because nothing's done the same as it was 10 years ago. It's like there's all kinds of like little things, man. Making flyers was fun, dude. I used to love making flyers, dude. Going to Kinko's and printing out posters and making press kits, man. No one makes you making hand press kit that you hand somebody, man. Like those were so awesome to make, dude. Now it's all digital, you know. Yeah. I mean, there's no CD, you know.
It is an email, Press kit's an email now.
Yeah, man. I used to make binders, man. I had these binders, man, where I laid them out, dude. I mean, they were like everything was sectioned off. Fly. I mean, yeah, man, they were sick. Bands used to pay me to make those things, man. It's like,
yep, I remember those. We did that. We did that as well back in the day. This band has been around since the '90s, and I was at the same. That was kind of the start of my personal music career too. Was the early '90s, so I know exactly what you're saying. You know, the ground and pound that we had to do, all the copy books, copies that we made, and pictures and books and binders, like you said. Hey, we did tapes.
Yeah, and the labels, man. The record labels and the PR companies, man, used to send me CDs to do CD reviews, man. I used to have thousands of CDs, man. Now I got thousands of downloads in my email.
Yeah, there you go.
It's crazy. All right, man. I appreciate this, man. I'll get this up probably. It might be up tonight. If not, it'll be up tomorrow, and I'll post a link on y'all's Facebook page to so y'all can get to it.
Hey, thanks, Benji. On behalf of the band, thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for the exposure. Thank you for the interest in our band and our music. Facebook. Let's keep in touch and keep on going. I'll spread your site all over as much as we can as well. We like to.
Yeah, I'll do the same, man.
Us out.
I got there's probably my Facebook's almost full up where I can't even accept friends anymore. So I'll invite every one of them, man, to your page, man.
Good. Hey, we're back on the rebuilding process of our. We had two different ones, and Facebook told us. They screwed us over. They said, we're deleting this one. You have to make this one. You're treating this as a business, whatever, some nonsense like that. When they did the changeover, we had thousands of likes and friends. We lost them all.
Yeah, I was noticing that. I noticed that. I was like, man, this band's only got this many likes for being as old as they are. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, that as a matter of fact, I should put that up there somehow because we've had thousands. We've been on there since Facebook started. We had thousands and we lost so much crap on there; it was ridiculous. But
so they made you take it all the way down, huh? That's
yeah. We had it. They sent us a link to download and make sure, but it was so much stuff.
So Facebook wanted you to do that?
Yeah, Facebook wanted us to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
And the reason why? And what was the reason behind it? And they wanted you to take it down. Why?
One was, I think what it was one was like a just a regular. Long Beach Vagrant. We didn't put it as a band, and the other one was as an artist page. And they said, I don't remember which one, but they said that we were trying to use that as a business. And we're like, what are you talking about?
It is a business. You're a band. I mean.
Yeah. But so one of them had one of the pages contained all of our information, all of our history. Music videos, everything on there, and we lost it all. We and then our the guys who had that stuff, they had computers that went down, so they lost all this stuff. So there's stuff that we can't get back. There's stuff that we can't get back. So it was kind of a
that is depressing. That's happened to me before too. I've lost because I used to record all my interviews on micro cassette tapes, man, and I used to I would have to sit there and I would have to upload them to my computer, man, and when I was doing when I used to print these things, man, it was a process to write them out, type them out, and then edited. And thank God for video now. And but there was this. But I had a crazy ex, man, that stole all my stuff, man. She felt like she was entitled to it because she was with me during this time. And so just because she was with me during the times I did this, she was entitled to it. And I had it all. And then someone broke in my house and stole my computer where I had all this stuff uploaded on. There was only one person in the world that had this stuff, and I was there was a DJ on this Australian metal station. It was an online like metal radio station, and he had that's where the Pick Hives was actually born, because he wanted to stream my interviews off of his website. So he made me a player on it. It was called the Pick Hives, and he had every one of my interviews in it, because all the interviews on those tapes were full length raw. You know, they were raw. They wasn't edited like for going to magazine. And you know, like I had some serious interviews on there, man, that were deep, man. And I can't find that guy no more. The thing don't exist. He's got them on his server somewhere, but they don't exist anymore. Yeah, man.
You know, I do that too. We end up. Well, I do personally. I carry, you know, like a thumb drive with a ridiculous amount of space. You know, and everything I put on and I take off, and I do not leave it in the computer. I store that in a locker at my house.
Yeah.
And so all that stuff that I have with me, regardless if a computer goes down or not, I keep that stuff backed up. So, it sucked for us big time, man. So we're on the rebuilding process along with it. You know, the only thing is, it kind of reflects the new start with the new lineup. So we're okay with it. You know, we're going to rebuild it as much as possible.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to help with that.
Hey, I appreciate it, Benji. Thanks a lot for having us on Pick Hives, and you know, we look forward. Matter of fact, if you gained a fan yourself, I'll always be checking out your interviews.
All right, man. I appreciate that.
Okay, hey, thanks a lot, man. Take it easy. Have a good holiday.
You too, man. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.